Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, let me tell you straight off the bat, right off the boat, everything in between. It is probably going to be a wild night here, and we're going to introduce you to a couple things. Welcome everybody to Boston Concessions. I'm your host Topher. Whew. We're part of the SSBN network, Small State Big Network. We have the boys up here from Boston. They are the boys down there in Rhode Island. We show them love by being right here from Boston. Well, I'm getting through my Father's Day. First off, happy Father's Day out there to everybody. But then again, it's 12:04 a.m. when I'm actually live on YouTube. So hopefully everybody had a really great Father's Day. It was great for whoever celebrated. Whether you actually have a son, a daughter, anything like that, or if you have a fur baby sitting at home like I do, happy Father's Day to everybody. But the biggest story we are going to talk about for the next hour, and I know I'm going to push the narrative with this, because the Red Sox finally show who is daddy. First off, they've got a poppy. Now they're showing somebody who the daddy is. Yes, Rafael Devers is gone. He's out of here. Now, I hate to say, I told you, I knew it. The next 2 years is not going to be fun for Rafael Devers, because at some point he was on his way out the door in Boston. He showed it. He talked it. He basically had it. I swear to God, the guy had it so rambunctious and proud and on his radar that he was going to be out in Boston. He didn't want to be here. And you know something? It went through the whole aspect of what the expectation was, how it was going to be. If you looked at it between every single aspect of when he started this year, the writing was on the wall. The Red Sox are looking for defensive help. Yes, defensive. What are they doing? They're going out and they're courting Alex Bregman. They're courting a perfect, known third baseman. So why are they doing this? Because they figure to the fact that Rafael Devers will play DH. He'll be okay. He'll make it exactly what he needs to be. And he'll do everything he needs to be, because why? He's the big dog. He's the big payday. He's the $300 million man. Well, he turned out to be exactly what I expected, the $300 million baby. Now, yes, this is a big thing. Why? Because there's a lot of things that basically, when you're looking at this, what is stated, and then why is it stated? Okay? Jeff Passan broke this down. Okay? This was at 8:55 p.m., at one of the moments when the trade happened. The Rafael Devers to San Francisco blockbuster has executives across baseball confounded On one hand, the Red Sox got out from a deal every model in baseball has as underwater and got talent back. On the other hand, a team with talent and momentum just traded its best hitter. And this was, again, about the same time. He did a follow-up. Buster Posey is running the Giants to win and win now. $250 million plus owed Devers to be damned. And 5 years after the Red Sox moved Mookie Betts, Craig Breslow made a deal he knew would be very unpopular because the math said it was a very good one for Boston. He makes sense with it. Okay? They freed up $250 million over the next couple of years. It's beautiful, right? Right. Is there more to it than what happens? Yes. Why is it? Because a lot of people are basically going to say, this is a horrible thing. And I'm going to sit here and saying, no, it's not. And I'm looking for the main piece I saw earlier. Because ESPN already has Rafael Devers, San Francisco Giants DH. It literally makes me laugh. Let me see if this was okay. The Giants have their star. So they tried to get Judge. They tried to get Ohtani. They struck out with Carlos Correa because they got him and things went haywire. Okay. But Buster Posey makes this deal and gets Devers. Okay. So the question is where Devers is going to play when he's with San Francisco. At 28 years old, can he play third? Will he even make mockery and just play first base? Or is he just going to be like a San Francisco DH, pull a Barry Bonds, and just call it a day? Okay. The Giants, if you look at it, just gave Matt Chapman the big contract extension. So third base is basically booked. Matt Chapman will be the third baseman. Well, the Giants certainly need a first baseman. Lamonte Wade Jr. sent to Anaheim. Dominic Smith has been manning first. Well, if you want to be the pertinent person in the Giants front office to have that conversation with him on his first day in town, go for it. Devers is $31.35 million, and it's right till 2033. Devers can basically lock into that DH spot. Yeah. But will he be able to submit to playing a little bit of third? Will he submit to like even testing for the fact of like first base? That's the part that like actually hinges with me. Is this going to be something he's going to be capable of doing? Is it something that he could do? Is this the end all be all of what we're going to talk about? Because it's going to be up there for like a little bit. Then there's the aspect on MLB.com. The Red Sox, where you go? The Red Sox better hope this doesn't end up feeling like the Mookie trade. So there's an upside and a downside to when you look at Rafael Devers. Rafael Devers was a piss poor third baseman. Let's all say it. He was horrible at defense. He still is horrible at defense. There's going to be no way to get around that when you look at anybody for defense. Is he going to be like a really solid DH? Yes. Can the man hit? Yeah. Can he field? He has some moments, but he sucks. Mookie was a 5-tool player. He can run, he can hit, he can field. He has athleticism. He also has a little bit of star power. And the only thing that Devers has on his side is his bat. Mookie is another player that is way out of line from Rafael Devers. To compare them and state to the fact that this is going to be like the Mookie Betts trade, it's not. You could have got a bag of balls, a bat boy, and an executive to sit in the front office for Rafael Devers. That's basically how I look at it. Discussions over the next few years, depending on how healthy he can stay. But if he ends up making the Hall, it's going to be pretty wild that the Red Sox, not the Marlins, not the Expos, the Red Sox, traded away 2 future Hall of Famers over a 5-year stretch. The circumstances are different. Betts is a better player, and there are different people in charge. The Red Sox certainly shown they're willing to spend, and Devers didn't exactly endear himself to the organization of late. Considering one of the reasons they gave Devers such a big extension in 23 was because of fan frustration that they had traded Betts. Bullshit. What does this tell young Red Sox stars like Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer? Are they going to get early extensions? Will they even want one? Will they trust they will really stay if they do? Here's what I have to say to this person. I don't know. There's a couple guys that got extensions recently. Tristan Campbell got a nice, good little extension. Garrett Crochet got a nice, good little extension. And look at him. He barely cracked a Red Sox uniform before he got on this extension. So there's options. I like this one though. Because if you thought the pressure was on a certain person now or then, think about what it is now. Alex Cora just got a lot more pressure on himself. There's always a healthy discussion about what the job of a manager is in today's analytical front office world. Are they just guys who make out the lineups and talk to the press? Are they really in charge? How much power do they actually have? One thing everybody agrees it's really important, though. Running a happy clubhouse. Managing. It might not have been Cora's decision to keep asking or not asking Devers to switch and not switch positions. But you could make a good argument that his job to massage the situation in a way that does not have the team star player, who again is crushing the ball right now, at such odds with the front office that they trade him away. This has already been an up and down start for the Red Sox. We've seen the front office and ownership group be, well, let's say, tempestuous or maybe reactionary. Cora has to figure out how to be the public face of the organization to show that he can run a happy clubhouse and to win, which he's now going to have to do without his best hitter. Here's the part that I can actually say to this person that's making the comment. A lot of the clubhouse hasn't been happy with Devers there. And even last year, with their woes and methods and everything they were doing, the problem basically stems into when you look at Rafael Devers himself, or even if you look at the Red Sox themselves. The culture in the clubhouse has been trash. We've said it. We've heard it been said. We've gone over it being said. We've listened to it be just talked about all the time. When your culture is trash and you're not working with the guys and you're nitpicking with certain people and you're not talking to people about things they need to conversate about, Rafael Devers playing first base, doing the things that needed to do, things that, hey, this is coming from the brass. We know you don't want to. I have to talk to you about it. But then not saying anything to it. Listen, there's a big, huge hit to that. And I'm not talking about Rafael Devers swinging the bat. But Alex Cora himself has not been one of the most uptick swing managers in probably the past 3+ years. The Red Sox have missed the playoffs. They've basically fallen short upon everything that's going on. And yes, if people really want to sit there and state, oh, well, Alex Cora wasn't really given anything, baloney. Alex Cora was given so many chances to succeed. He was given so many chances to be exactly what he needs to be. He was given every aspect of what he needs to do. There was no reason at all whatsoever. The way he calls games is not really like a winning point. Okay? He's constantly misuse of pitchers. He's taking the blunt of things that he shouldn't be taking the blunt for. He's walking through certain things that are really failing everything around him. That is not That's not really the way to look at it. Number 5 for this list. This is already the trade of the deadline. I know a lot of people who thought the biggest name would be moved would be Sandy Alcantara. Surprise! It's the middle of June, and it's tough to see how they could be anyone bigger. Okay, it would be a big deal if Jordan Hicks got traded on his own. We're going to spend so much time discussing trade possibilities for the next few weeks, and then fevered rush in the days leading up to the deadline. But how in the world are we going to top this? And that is true. How are you? Because right now, when you're looking at everything going on, what is the biggest thing that you're looking at? You've got the number 1 prospect in baseball right now that came up and is playing ball. You have your other 2 prospects. One of them already made the team start of the year. Okay? You've got Campbell. He's been playing outfield. He's been playing second base. You also have your other hot prospect, Marcelo Meyer. So you have 3 of your young, proud team and everything you're wanting to be on that team right now, where you are. That's a portion that everybody wants to see. That's that's a great motion right there. And then you fill it up with like a lot of other things. You are start like I'll give Craig Breslow credit for simple things. He's not just leaving the kids that are making mountains down in AAA, AA. He's moving them up. Well, what did that also mean for Devers? Well, you got to figure out a place. DH was a perfect spot. You didn't have anybody who could really play first base. You offered him first base to play the field. Man said no, flat out. So what do? You also have Bregman coming back. You have Yoshida coming back. It's really good moments when you look at a lot of people will say like, oh, you've got these guys coming back. You've got to figure like a lot of this out. You're right. And you've got to like make that dig somewhere. You've got to make you've got to make like that big splash. You've got to make that big wholesome piece that's basically going to be in somebody's rules. Is this what I was looking for? Here it is. Here it is. So this looks like it's from Dan Perry. And I know it was something like I was looking at from the Boston Globe. Why the Red Sox reportedly traded Rafael Devers to the Giants? Did not live up to responsibilities. After the stunner of a trade that sent all-star batsman Rafael Devers from the Red Sox to the Giants as part of a 5-player blockbuster, many observers are no doubt left wondering why. Specifically, why the Sox part with a highly productive homegrown slugger who's signed through 2033 in the prime of his career and on his way to one of his best seasons, and why doing it coming off a sweep of the Yankees. The short answer is that the relationship between Devers and the front office, not exactly known for smooth operations in recent years, had apparently degraded beyond repair. Peter Abraham of the Globe reported the club's motivations. Per Red Sox sources, the team's feeling was that a $313.5 million contract comes with responsibilities to do what is right for the team, and that Devers did not live up to those responsibilities. They had enough, and they traded him. The Red Sox standpoint, Devers' responsibilities is code for willingness to change positions. Leading up to and after Boston's signing of Bregman this past winter, Devers balked at the idea of moving off third to make room for Bregman. It was, after all, a position that Devers had manned for his entire big league career. And it's not common for players to be downshifted defensively at age 28. From the club's standpoint, though, Bregman was obviously the better defender, and moving Devers meant improving what was not a good infield defense overall. Eventually, Devers relented and agreed to become the full-time DH. Turned out to be a role in which he thrived. Of course, he hits. How do you not say that? Like, I have not stated to the fact that this man cannot hit. Okay? It's not like we're talking about Jackie Bradley and saying that the man can't feel. Because in the way, guess what? The man could field. He just couldn't hit. In this case, Devers was kind of trash at the hot corner. He was also trash in the field. But he could hit the ball. I'm fine with that if he can hit the ball. In early May, Red Sox first baseman Tristan Casas suffered a season-ending knee injury, which left a void at the position. All appearances, the club wanted Devers to fill that void. He had never played first base as a professional, and he'd be taking on the role midstream with no time to prepare or practice for it. On the other side of things, the shift to first base shouldn't be an onerous task for a player with more than 8,000 defensive innings at third base in the majors. Correct. If you've played third, you can play first. It's basically a flip-flop. You're just mirroring the position you did with less go. You're going to have a couple balls slapped at you, and the idea is if anybody hits it to the infield, you just walk over, you put your foot on the bag, and put your glove on. Anybody can't do that. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. Where was it? Oh. Soon after Casas' injury, Cora downplayed the idea of moving Devers to first base. Devers, though, said club chief Breslow did approach him about picking up a glove again. I'm not certain what issue he has with me. He played ball, and I would think that he knows that changing positions like that isn't easy. I know I'm a ball player, but at the same time, they can't expect me to play every single position out there. In spring training, they talked to me, basically told me, put away my glove. I wasn't going to play any other position but DH. Right now, I feel like that's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position. Here's the stop that I'm going to tell this. When I look at a comment like this is Devers overplaying, and this is basically him being a snoot. So why I call him Baby Huey? Find a way to complain, find a way to whine, and here it is. Okay, I'm going to break down this comment. Okay, not certain what issue he has with me. There's no issue. You're a ball player. You're paid handsomely. You're hitting a ball. He's walking up to you in respect to ask you because your teammate, quote unquote, went down with a season-ending injury. If you switch from third to first, you have more likeliness of understanding the position than other people who have never played the hot corner before. It's not hard. It's just figuring it out. He played ball, and I would like to think that he knows that changing positions like that isn't easy. If somebody came up to Craig Breslow and said, we need you to start a game, he's not going to look at somebody and say, like, oh, I'm not a starter. I'm a reliever. I'm a closer. I don't do that. I don't go past 2 innings. No. If he was asked to start a game, Breslow would say, okay, am I going to be like basically drilling myself to where it's going to be more than 4? He's going to prep himself because it's pitching. Or if he had to play first base, he'd probably grab a glove and be like, how hard can it be? I can stand here. I'm going to pull my glove out and you're going to throw me the ball. That how it works? Anyone? Breslow was a team guy. There's a difference between what Rafael Devers is saying and what Breslow said. Breslow was a team guy. If you asked him to do an extra inning, he was there for an extra inning. If you asked him to do the day after, he was pitching the day after. If you asked him to do 2 innings the day after, like, doing 2 innings, guess what? He was doing 4 innings in 2 days. Breslow was there to pitch. He knew that. If you asked him to do anything else, he did it. That's why he's an executive, and he's actually looking at the best interest of the club. Just saying that. I know I'm a ball player, but at the same time, they can't expect me to play every single position out there. Rafi, you can't play every position out there. You'd be a shitty shortstop. You'd be an abysmal second baseman. And I'm not even going to go how you'd probably handle the outfield. You'd probably be a lost puppy. And don't even get me started with catcher, because you probably wouldn't know what the fuck you're doing. I swore. So the objectivity is, this is where you're a bitch. They don't want you to play every position. They never asked you to do that. And Breslow never approached you to do it. Breslow approached you to play first base. That's it. And why? Because you have the most common sense to play first than other people on the ball club. You've played third. To go from third to first is an easygoing shift. Like I said, it's mirrored. But that's just me. The hell do I know? In spring training, they talked to me and basically told me to put away my glove, that I wasn't going to play any other position but DH. Right now, I just feel like it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask me to play another position. Hey, Devers, I know you said it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask you to play another position. I personally would have loved for you to ask Tristan Casas and see how he felt about his injury. And if it was appropriate for him to have the injury he had, that was putting him out for the year when he was trying to rebuild from a struggling aspect and show a team that he was actually working to stay with the ball club instead of either being traded, released, or otherwise. Or do you feel that's not appropriate? See, that's the part that I break down. When you get to the aspect of what he says, and then it's not an appropriate decision by them to ask him. Last I checked, Tristan Casas did not ask at all to be injured. I don't even think he wanted to be injured. I mean, you know something, Devers, who am I kidding? He's faking it. He just wanted the time off, just like the Red Sox could still pay him for the rest of the year. That's why it's inappropriate. Oh, you stupid dude. If I have a team that's paying me $300 million, I think I've said this because I said it about Mookie Betts. If the Red Sox asked Mookie Betts to go into the stands, or actually even the Dodgers right now, because the Dodgers are paying Mookie an abysmal amount of money. If they said, "Hey, can you put on a pickle outfit and go sell pickles in the stands?" Do you think he's going to say that's not appropriate for them to ask? No. He's an employee of the Los Angeles Dodgers. His contract states to the fact that he is a ball player and also a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Working concessions is part of the Los Angeles Dodgers family. And Mookie Betts would probably throw on the pickle thing, go in the stands and be like, anybody want a pickle? Hey, I'm Mookie Betts. You want a pickle? He's not going to care. It's one day, maybe 5 days. And then when he goes back to the field, oh man, did you see me in the pickle outfit? Yeah. You know that from your teammate, dude. That man is getting paid, and he could have asked anything. Anything. But that conversation led to a one-on-one meeting with John Henry. Devers overcame an early season slump to put up some of the best offensive numbers of his career, but presumably ill feelings lingered on both sides. All that, plus Devers is owed roughly $250 million through 2023, and it led to Sunday's trade. The Giants are standing to benefit from the round of the Red Sox dysfunction. So here's a question I have. And this is where I want to monitor this over the next couple of days, because Devers is either he's going to take a uniform, he's going to be doing what he's doing. Where is he going to be? Do you take your third baseman and move him to first and like put Devers at third just to make him happy? Do you keep him as a DH? $250 million DH for a National League team. Here's a better thing. Does Rafael Devers actually suit up and play first base? Will there be any switching between them? That's going to be your biggest question. That is going to be the biggest question of any time. Because if you see Rafael Devers playing first base, it's a shot to the Red Sox. If you see him playing third base, it can also be a shot to the Red Sox. The point, though, also is when Devers being, part of Boston, when you have David Ortiz that comes up to you and talks to you about playing the field and then goes, hey, let's not talk to him about it. Let's, focus on what it is. And you got to look at it in a simpler way. If David Ortiz is looking at you and saying, you might want to try it, what's wrong with that? I just see it as Devers knew his time was ending in Boston. And I think what Boston gets is you get two pitchers. I think you get actually three pitchers. And then you get I think an infielder. I gotta see who the hell they get. But like you basically got 4 people for him. And it's not anybody that like, okay, you're gonna like literally go crazy for. But I love how people are just ripping this up. Get rid of John Henry. Breslow sucks. I want to know where Breslow sucks. That's that's the part that I want to know. Where does Breslow suck? I'm still trying to find like the players. Let me try to like take this out. Okay, so Harrison's a 23-year-old lefty. So I mean, like, there's a lot that like can basically come out of him. Yep, here it is. This is according to MLB.com. In San Francisco, the 28-year-old Devers will likely split his time between third base and DH, so the Giants want to speak to him first before they determine where to use him. Wilmer Flores is currently the Giants' primary DH. He could potentially move into more of a platoon role with Dominic Smith at first base when Chapman returns. Left-handed hitter, Devers' career OPS plus at 128. Tibbs is a 22-year-old outfielder who ranked as the Giants' number 4 prospect by MLB Pipeline, was batting 246, 12 home runs over 57 games, and a high A Eugene this year. Bello is a 20-year-old right-handed reliever, wasn't among the club's top 30 prospects, but he was pitching well at the rookie-level Arizona Complex League, where he posted a 2 ERA over his first 8 appearances. Hicks, who's the second year of a 4-year, $44 million deal, began the season as a starter. He was moved to the bullpen in early May. He has a 6.47 ERA in 2025. Has not appeared in a game since June 1st after going on injured list with a right great toe inflammation. So you've got some stuff. Is it probably like the best thing? No. But like when I texted a friend of mine and I was like, look, you said you were gonna like we were gonna get rid of Devers for pennies on the dollar. This is showcasing what it is. You basically got a couple guys, you got a couple things that are basically gonna be bouncing around left and right. And then you're basically gonna be looking at like what you can do with this and why. So Nesson is basically stating, okay, despite Devers being unhappy with the Red Sox wanting to move him to first base, the 28-year-old reportedly didn't ask for a trade, as reported by Matt Live's Chris Cotillo. I think his agent made it clear to the fact that that man wasn't playing third base, he didn't want to play for the team. I think that the fact of the way Devers was acting, it was basically going that road, and a lot of things that you would basically break down. So, what part of him not asking for the trade? Yeah, he may not have come out and say, "Oh, trade me, trade me," but the way you're acting, the way you're going on about everything, and the way you're basically encroaching yourself. You wanted the trade. You wanted to take the trade. You were okay with anywhere you went, as long as it wasn't Boston and it wasn't doing anything else. Now, yes, there could have been the point of like, trading away from Alex Cora. But what happens also if you let go of Cora by the end of the year because he's not producing? And like it's even stated, you're not basically going to go into anything with Alex Cora right now. Yes, you signed him to an extension, but he's weaning off of everything he's doing. He's not showcasing a lot. Granted to the fact that like right now he did a sweep of the Yankees. Great. What are you going to do to get into the playoffs? That's a better question. Because if I go right now, if I look at the Boston Red Sox, they're a baseball team. They won 2-0 today. Happy Father's. Max Fried led up the 2 runs. Brian Bello pitched 7 innings with 3 hits, 8 Ks. Devers was in the lineup. He had a home run. He had the only home run. But the standings right now, and this is where people can't get mad. I'm sitting here looking at this. I'm looking at, even though they got swept by the Red Sox, the Yankees right now are 42-28. They're 5-5 over the last 10. The Red Sox are 37-36. They're just a smidge over 500. 8-2 over their last 10. They're still 6.5 games back from the Yankees. 3 games away from the Rays, who were in second. 2 games off the Blue Jays. And 5.5 games ahead of the Orioles. Look, teams have surges. I'm not stating that. Sometimes, like, teams who peak will actually drop a little bit by like a month and a half. What are you expecting to see here? I really need to know because I'm not seeing anything that's making a mountain of a molehill in any which way, shape, or form that makes me go, yes, we need to keep Rafael Devers because he is the glue that keeps this team together. Oh my God. That was Mookie Betts. And he went out the door. Should he have? No. I said it before. I'll say it right now. Rafael Devers is basically the Marcus Smart of baseball. If the Red Sox start focusing and they start doing things they need to do, and you start seeing more of an adjustment, then you know that the negativity that was basically building in the clubhouse was affecting everybody around. If that's why you get rid of a guy, great. Culture is a big thing. The manager needs to endorse it. He needs to carry it. He needs to make it a part of the world. Why? Because culture is what makes the team connect. Chemistry makes a team connect. And I hate to say it, but it's only going to be a matter of time before Roman Anthony starts ticking like a time bomb. And what happens when Marcelo Meyer gets hot? And what happens when Campbell actually starts turning it on again? These are things that you have your three young up-and-coming stars. What happens if Jaron Duran now can get that negative energy out of his space and start just going like ham on the ball? What if the Red Sox get back to doing what is proper, which is baseball? Then what? You're basically going to have to answer for, oh, we let go of Rafael Devers. Right. Because here's the funny thing. Okay? Chris Cotillo is stating to the fact that he didn't ask for a trade. But ESPN, Jeff Passan, is saying Devers didn't want to be in Boston anymore. Which is it? Did he not want to trade? Did he want to trade? Something's got to give here. It just makes for funny moments. Speaking of funny moments, Oklahoma City, Indiana, NBA playoffs, tied at 2. I heard a lot of people didn't care. Can't blame them. Tuesday night, though, Florida is up 3 games to 2 on Edmonton. Florida's leading the series. Tonight will be the NBA playoffs. Tuesday will be the NHL playoffs. We will see if Brad Marchand will walk away with the second Stanley Cup in his lifetime. At a 36-year-old, we're rooting for you. I know to the fact I don't want Florida, but you know something? It's Brad. He deserves it. Oh. Now that this is over, though, I really gotta focus on and I gotta start writing down my takes. I gotta start writing down things I say. When I say to the fact that Rafael Devers is gonna be gone within the next 2 years. Did I expect it to be this year? I mean, there was a small portion of a shot. And now he's traded. Bye-bye. I'm okay with all of it. I'm okay with the greatness that it, like, lets it go and, rips it out of the place. It's great. It's exactly what we need. I'm looking at the Panthers versus the Oilers. Woo woo. Biggest question is still one of my takes. Should the Boston Bruins have given up on Brad Marchand and pitched him to Florida, where even though he's going to be a free agent and win a Stanley Cup in another uniform, should you have done it? It's a big, big question. Well, we'll see how everything goes when we're back. Because I got a lot to handle. Oh, look, we're going to be talking about this Rafael Devers stuff for like probably like another week. Why? Because it's a really big deal. And when I state to the fact that, like, oh my God, I caught Rafael like actually going out the door, I never want these things to happen. But I know the fact that, like, when I play couch GM on my own terms, on my own ways, and everything that I basically look at, I don't just say, like, oh, don't get rid of him. He's a great player. I'm always going to ask myself, what is it to the fact that I would get? What's the benefit of what I would get? And why would I do it? Banking money? Sure. Getting young prospects? Sure. Getting something that can help me win now because it's, hey, I need pitching. But also where, like, I know to the fact that, like, my bats are going to be more focused given everything I've brought up, especially my young players. But then the second thing I have to look at is I'm asking a guy to help out one of his teammates that went down, and I'm also helping him to, like, help the team because right now I don't know the direction of first base. Am I saying stay there for like a long period of time? I'm saying take reps. You could be completely horrible. You could be successful. That's the part I think Rafael Devers didn't even look at. Could you imagine if he played first base and was really successful and was like really happy and told Alex Cora, like, dude, I love first base? Could you imagine that? You can't now. Because remember, the man said no. Now he's a giant. Oh, 32 years old, and he'll be like basking in the sunset. That's basically where I'll put it. All right. We're going to get out of here. And thank you, everybody. It's been almost a Rafael Devers bashing, but it's an understanding to the fact that, like, it sucks enough to deal with this right now, and we got to figure out what's going on with it. But this has been Boston Concessions, and is an SSBN podcast. We are a wonderful, wonderful podcast that you can basically catch us every Sunday night into Monday, and then Thursday into Friday, and have a whopping wondrous time. Just remember, info@bostonconcessions@gmail.com can get you any question that you want. We will look it up. We will pop it in here, and we will also mention it live and mention it on Twitter. So this way you get dragged around all over the place. We thank you immensely for listening in. And again, you can listen to us. You can rewatch the live replay from YouTube. You can go on Spotify.com and listen to us while you're doing anything in the world. You could be playing baseball. You could be doing yard work. Hey, you could be sitting there like hanging out with the kids. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio. You can also listen to us on Apple Podcasts and also Amazon Podcasts as well. I am your host, Topher. I want to thank you, everybody, again. And to all the dads out there, please have a wonderful, wonderful Father's Day. Hopefully, you had a great time. Hopefully, it was great. You got some ties, you got some breakfast, you got anything in the world that you basically wanted to know and do, and you got to spend time with the people you love. But until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing the love. We will talk to you soon. Good night, everybody.